Alright guys, what is up? It is Demon here, and I know I haven't uploaded a video in a few months actually, but we're here, Starcraft Heart of the Swarm, and I'm going to be making 3 videos today showcasing the changes to Terran, Zerg, and Protoss. So, make sure you watch all of them, and right now on the screen there's going to be 3 different ways you can get to all of them if you want, but this is the Terran one, so let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to take us over to the website page so we can look at the changes, and then we're going to go into a game and look at the changes. So, see you all soon, and peace out. Alright guys, so here we are on the page. It is the beta balance update number 8, and it happened on December the 5th of 2012. So, specifically in this video, we're going to look at the Terran changes. There were changes to every race, and these are purely the balance changes, not the UI changes, not changes in the menu. But we're going to mainly be talking about our Terran right here. So, we'll start with our medevac here. It does have a new ability, Emergency Thrusters, and that does grant a speed boost, and it increases movement speed and acceleration to 4.25 for 8 seconds, and it does have a 20-second cooldown. So, we'll look at that in game a little bit. We'll look at it more in depth here in a minute. And the medevac's Caduceus reactor upgrade at the Starport Tech Lab. Health restored per second from 9, so the upgrade used to give you 9 health restored per second, now to 15. That is a huge change. They want to see this used more, as Terran players usually do not get it. Energy cost reduced from 3 health per 1 energy to 5 health per 1 energy. That is also huge. It's going to be a lot less energy used when the medevacs are healing. Now the cost increased from 180 seconds to 150 to 110 seconds. So it is a little bit longer to get. It costs a little bit more, but it's definitely worth it in the changes. So we'll take a look at the difference between the changes there. The Reaper, the base speed increased from 2.95 to 3.375. That is a huge change. That's a lot of speed that you would normally get. The upgraded speed increased from 3.84 to 4.25. So that's a faster Reapers. Hopefully we're going to see some Reaper drops, maybe some interesting things there. Now the Widow Mine, this is one of the new units in Heart of the Swarm in general. No longer hits cloaked units. That is key. You can't just have it, sitting at a ramp to make sure no DTs come in, or no Banshees fly right over, And there is a new upgrade, Drilling Claws, decreases burrow time from 3 to 1 second. So it used to take 3 seconds for them to get into the ground. Now it only takes 1 with that upgrade. And it does require a tech lab and an armory now. This is really important, as it only required a factory last time. So we're not going to see any more, crazy Widow Mine production out of one factory. And we're not going to see them used in rushes as often. It does cost 150 and 110 second research time. I think that was upped a little bit. Oh no, that is the... Yeah, no, that's the upgrade. My bad. That is the upgrade that takes that long. So that is... So, I screwed up. The Widow Mine, you can still get them from the reactor. My bad there. So the Thor, this is a huge change. 250mm strike cannons has been removed. And I'm pretty sure those were the regular cannons that would shoot at the Mutalisk in the sky. I could be wrong there. But the Thor can now switch between 2 modes, high impact payload and explosive payload. The mode shift takes 4 seconds. When in high impact payload mode, the Thor switches to a different anti-air gun. 250mm Punisher cannons that has 10 range and deals 24 flat damage. So now it has a mode that's purely for killing off air. The Thor radius, inner radius, and separation radius increased from 0.8215 to 1. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Maybe that means changing from one mode to another. We will find out here pretty soon. The Raven, now this is one of the major changes too. Seeker Missile has been redesigned. So Seeker Missile upgrade's been redesigned. Can now fire from a 10 range. That is crazy. That's farther than a fungal can fly for infestors. The missile comes out and stays immobile in front of the Raven for 3 seconds while charging up, then rapidly moves, and it's not dodgeable at this point, and explodes at the target for 300 Seagull target damage. So it's not area of effect anymore. It used to be 100 damage in an area of effect circle around where the bomb blows up. Now it is just 300 single target damage. Targeted units light up red when targeted. If the unit moves 13 range out of where the Seeker Missile is, the missile fizzles. So it is still dodgeable when it's just sitting there in the air, not moving. So take that into note there. The Hellbat The splash damage radius increased from 90 to 110, so that's more splash damage. So it's a very slight upgrade, but it's always helpful. And the armory now only has one weapon and one armor upgrade for both air and ground weapons for both factory and starport units. Alright, this is going to be extremely viable on mech, and we're going to take an in-depth look at all of these changes coming up here in the game. Alright guys, so here we are in the game now. We have all of our changes for units. We have our Ravens, our Reapers, our Widowmines, our Thors, our Hellbats, and our Medevacs. So the ones that did get changes to upgrades, these are units that their upgrades did change. The Reaper, now the only thing that changed here was the movement speed. So I don't know if you can see, but they do move quicker. This is before the upgrade, so remember that. They do move faster just at a normal speed than they normally would without the upgrade. So we will go back to them once the upgrade is done and finished. So we'll go here, research the upgrade. Alright, so now the other unit that did get a change in the upgrade is the Widowmines here. So we're going to take two of them, and we're going to burrow them one at a time, and you'll see how long it takes. So it took that long to burrow, so it was like a good 3 seconds. You know, 1, 2, 3, and then it's done. And so it would normally take that long even if you ran them in and you were going to attack people. So we're gonna go down here. Whoa, what is going on? There we go. So we're gonna go down here, and it is the drilling clause. It is 150, 150, and it takes 110 seconds to research. So we're gonna start researching that as we do go here. So now all of these buildings, these are what every unit has been produced from. So take that into note here, that all of these units came from all of these buildings right down here. Whoops, sorry for that. So now the next unit I want to talk about is the Hellbat. Now this is just a very, very minor change, but the splash damage did... Okay, then I'm not sure what that was, but the splash damage of the attack, so that attack that goes and, you know, flies this way, as you see the attack animation going down, it is now 110 range in front of them, or spread, I guess would be the better way of putting that, instead of 80. And so the spread, it is larger, and the amount of damage it can do. So that's always nice to have, and it's just a very slight change there. Alright, so now some of the most interesting changes probably, or well, one of the most interesting changes to Terran players in general is the medevacs. So here, your normal medevacs, they're moving out all normally, and then all of a sudden you add the boost and they're extremely fast. That is insane that they could go that fast, and that they can go that fast for that long. And so now it's on cooldown, and by the time the thruster finishes, so by the time that they're done with the speed upgrade, and it does upgrade their speed by about 70%, so keep that in mind. Once the speed is done, it takes just another 10 seconds. The cooldown is already halfway done to being done again. So we can use it again here and just fly around extremely quickly. And that's faster than Mutalisk, that's faster than anything in the game. It's probably about the speed of a upgraded Speed Overlord, so keep that in mind. So now our next unit we want to go to here, and now the upgrade is ending, so we're going to fly these back over here. Our next unit is going to be the Thor. No, not you. The Thor. Alright, so this is probably another really, really interesting change. So I was wrong when I brought up on the loading screen that the 250 strike cannons or the things that shoot the air. No, those are still there, as you're going to see them being used there. Boom, boom, boom. The missiles that come out and do area of effect damage. Those are still there. It was the Punisher cannons that, or not the Punisher cannons, the strike cannons, and that was, you could upgrade those here, and you would use it and it would do area of effect to ground units. Now they have changed it to where you can switch over into this, you have the regular Thor version. Now they have it to where you can switch it over into the high impact payload mode, and so it takes 4 seconds there, so it's 4 seconds. And the cannons basically come up on top of it, like onto its shoulders. And now it doesn't have the javelin missiles that we saw before to attack air, but instead it has a very, you know, effective little blast that comes from these, and does single fire damage. So that's actually cool. They do still have the ground attack too, so it's really preference on what mode you would rather them have. The upgrades is it is a little bit faster when it shoots. It does more single target damage in this mode to air units. Now this is specifically air units since the change has been done for. Alright, and the range is still the same, but the area of effect is better for the other one. So keep all of that in mind. So in mass, the other one might be better when dealing with mass mutalisk. But you know, if you have like a bunch of battle cruisers, it might be just, or a mothership or something, it might be more effective to use the single fire target mode when you need to bring down a huge basically a huge flying unit or carriers. You know, something that you don't really need a lot of area of effect for. So now our upgrades have finished. So now we'll look at the changes back at the Reaper here. So now the speed upgrade has finished, and now they are extremely fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them up here. I don't know if you see my cursor here, but it's basically sending them halfway across the map down to the left side. I'm going to send them all the way across the map. So what we're going to do is send them there, and then we're just going to follow how fast they're moving. So this is extremely fast. It's 4.25 movement speed. I don't think anything else has movement speed quite like this except flying units. Those might be the only ones. But they just got all the way across the map that quickly. And now they're going to fly up the wall there, and they're going to go back. So now I'm going to just send them back here. We're going to follow them back once again. They're going to go, you know, all the way across. And so it is extremely fast, and it's such a versatile upgrade. Speedlings will not be able to catch them now, and stalkers can't catch them on their way out of the base. And so I'm just waiting to see how players actually are going to use this when the time does come. Alright, so now moving back into our Widow Mines here. Now, what the upgrade did is it changed it to where it took 3 seconds to burrow. So you remember the 3 seconds to 1 second to burrow. So let's go ahead and zoom in here. Take a little look. So, boom, that was instantly done. Another one, boom, instantly done. Boom, instantly done. Boom, instantly done. So, this is going to be extremely useful if you plan to use Widow Mines as a really key part of your army. It's kind of like siege tanks, how when you see an army coming towards your army, you can just siege them up really quickly, and then they start firing off. Sometimes these Zerg units are too fast, and you can't siege in time. So, keep all of that in mind as it goes. So now, one of the gigantic changes, and this is probably one of the most crucial changes in the Terran army here, it is the change to the Raven Seeker missile. So these are our Ravens here. They all have full energy because they've been sitting out here for a while. Whoa. Hello, Mr. Ally, pushing out across the map. Alright, so now what the Seeker missile does is it still costs 125, so still the same cost. Before, it would fire the Seeker missile instantly, and if you ran away from it, you could technically dodge it. If the unit was fast enough that it had been fired, you could dodge it if needed to be. Now, the case is different now, and the Seeker missile would fire immediately. So, our Thor here, he has 400 health. Or, this Thor, we'll use a full health one. 400 health here. I don't believe any changes come when... So we'll go ahead and put him in this mode. So, normally, as all the Thors are bunched together, you would fire the Seeker missile at a specific unit, and the range is 10 now. So that's insane range. You can see the circle here. See the circle here, 10 range, and now it does 300 single target damage. So, and it does mark the target red as you see here, and it's floating for 3 seconds, and then boom, it goes and fires. So rather than dealing 100 to every single one of these units, it did 300 right to that single Thor right there. And that leaves him with 100 health. And so now you don't need to... The only way it is possible to, say, dodge this is when... we'll have to get a different Raven here. When the Seeker missile has been launched, is ready, as you see it sort of sits there, you can run away from it. And apparently it can't actually go that far, but you can outrun it if you run quickly enough. I guess I didn't run quickly enough there. Here, we can try this once more. Alright, so boom, and we'll get him running. And you see he did dodge it there, and so now the Seeker missile just floats away into nothing. Because he ran effectively enough. Right there. So these are all the changes. Now, one the very last major change, now at the armory. So this is very crucial at the armory here. Normally, you would have, you would have your vehicle, weapons 1, vehicle, armor 2. Well, now it's vehicle and ship plating. So if I get, I already got the 1-1 upgrade for the vehicle and ship weapons. So now my Thor here, he is a ground unit. He's considered a vehicle. He has the extra 1-1 here for the Terran vehicle plating. He has the Thor's hammer. They have the extra damage because of the upgrade. But also, the medevac has the 1 defense from the same exact upgrade. So now mech is going to be more viable in that sense. It's going to be, you're going to be able to get those upgrades faster just like you would in regular ground army. So hopefully we'll see a lot more mech being used because of those upgrade changes. And these were all the upgrade changes to Terran. In the next balance patch, I have more videos coming out for you guys. It's going to be changes to Zerg, changes to the Protoss. The Terran has been some of the most important changes overall. And so if you guys have any feedback, make sure to drop a comment below saying what you might want to see. I am going to have some replays for you also, as this army is going to go destroy up here. Oh wait, there is something else I would like to bring up to you guys. So as you can see, I have my ally here in this game. He is a very easy AI, and he's an ally here. He has these ravens coming in over here. I'm not going to do anything just yet, but another huge change that did come out. So right here we can click right here, or you can hit Alt+C, and this brings up a brand new menu. So you have his army. You can say, hey, send army here, and he's going to send some of his forces there to defend or attack the area. So you see him pulling back all of his marines, all of his siege tanks here to go to this specific spot. Now you can tell him to scout out. So I think that our opponent has this base right here. So I'm going to click scout. Scout's on the way. And he's going to send a scout out here, and it's going to be this one. So we'll follow this scout and figure out where it goes here. Other things you can tell them to do, detect. So we'll also tell him to detect this area also. So first of all, he's going to scan, and he's also going to send a raven across the map, which is, well, he normally does send a raven, because you heard him say raven going out. So we might see a raven there in a minute. And our opponent GGing here, well, we're going to say no. Where is that raven? There's the raven. It's going to come across and detect for us. So now it's kind of more interactive to see these used. We can also tell him to expand. So we're going to tell him, hey buddy, expand down here. And so as he will talk to you too. He has Rainer's voice. He says, we're going to take that expansion. So he's going to come down here. He's going to try and expand. And there you go. He did expand for you, and he's like, alright, I'm going to expand here. Sweet. Now, other things you can do, this build options, this is the most important part. Opening build rushes. If he's Terran, he's going to go Marines and he's going to rush them. If he's Zerg, he's going to get Zerglings and rush them. If he's Protoss, he's going to get Zealots and rush them. Timing attack. It's a Marine Marauder Stim Pack timing attack. We have Zergling, Baneling, Roach timing attack. We have a Zealot Stalker with Blink timing attack. And so it says AI builds up for an early timing attack, usually does not expand to a second base. The rush does say AI attacks as soon as possible. You have aggressive push. AI delays attacking until it has more powerful units, usually expands to a second base. And that involves Siege Tank, Banshee, Hydralisk, Infestor, and Immortal play. Or you have opening build economic focus. AI expands quickly with very little defenses, focuses on economy and tech, and makes a very basic army. Only one opening build selection per AI. So those are those, but also you have the units that you want him to create. So you can have Create Casters, Ghost, Raven, Widowmine, Infestor, Swarmhost, Viper, Dark Templar, High Templar, Oracle. That's what I have it set as right now. Late game, Create Air, Battlecruiser, Banshee, Viking, Broodlord, Mutalisk, Corruptor, Tempest, Carrier, Void Ray. So those are all air units. Create advanced units, Siege Tank, Thor, Ultralisk, Broodlord, Archon, Colossus. A lot of those tier 3 units we're going to see there. Create basic units, Marine, Marauder, Medevac, Zergling, Baneling, Roach, and Infestor. So these are all brand new changes that just came with the most recent patch. And so all that. So if you want to see more Heart of the Swarm action, make sure to subscribe and tell me what you would like to see in the upcoming in the upcoming videos I'm gonna have some replays of Heart of the Swarm from my Masters friend. By the way, my Masters friend, he's a guy that I work with, he's letting me use this account on his account on Heart of the Swarm to make these videos for you guys. So big shout out to him, Brandon Samtozu. I love you. I will definitely be speaking with you in the upcoming future about things. And so guys, thank him for letting me use his account to make these videos for you guys. There's gonna be more on the way. I'm also gonna have Protoss changes, Zerg changes, all of those changes coming up here. So we're just gonna see what Widow Mines can actually do to workers here. They can't target buildings. Remember that too. So boom, psh, instant death right there. And then the cooldown does go up. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Also guys, something that's very important. The reason I haven't been uploading a lot of videos, and this is actually really crucial. The huge reason I haven't been uploading a lot of videos is because I've been working for this company, and we cast tournaments every week, every Saturday in American time. So I will put up a link right now on the page. It's Facebook.com/Panda Gaming. Make sure to check us out. That's where you will have information about our streams, about all that. Also, you can check us out at Twitch TV/Panda Gaming Red. And we do tournaments every week. Please come out and follow us. We would love that. And I'm one of the casters, so you guys will get to see me in action 4 hours every week if you would like that. And I love you all, so see you all next time. Also, if you have any suggestions, things you want to see in Heart of the Swarm, more in-depth analysis on the maps, on specific matchups, on what goes on in these matchups, just let me know, and I will try to get all that hooked up for you. And boom, 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 boom. Alright, see you all next time. Okay guys, so one quick thing. I know I said ended the video, but I just want to show you one other change that did happen. So once the supply depot goes down, you're going to be able to see it in all of its glory, and it's actually really, really awesome here. So I'm just going to wait for that to happen. So here they come. The extra Reaper is going to be able to kill this off here. And here it is. So it says right here, Samtozu, the victory. It's like a gigantic victory sign. There's the Terran or the Zerg or the Protoss one, and for Zerg it's purple. For Protoss I'm pretty sure it's like golden. For Terran it's this color. This is exactly what it looks like. You can hit the return to game or score screen, and it has your name right there. So it makes you feel so achieved, and it also comes up with defeat when you lose in giant letters also. So remember that as